So I spent a year trying different wines to find the best ones that I can come back to, as you do. And upon looking at this list, I thought it would be extremely fun to pair each wine with a place that has like a paranormal or dark side to it. Now I have to say, this research was very hard work, but I've tasted and I've rated and compared all of these wines to dark places, just so you don't have to. Just a warning that I'm not a wine expert by any means, so if I pronounce any of these wines or locations wrong, I do apologise. It's just a bit of fun, but dark, of course. Cue the intro. Before we get into the video, just a reminder to like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. I make videos on true crime, mysteries, and the paranormal weekly, so if that sounds right up your street, then please do join the community, but let's get into it. So first up, we have the Oxford Landing Sauvignon Blanc, which I would rate an 8 out of 10, guys. It's light, it's citrusy, and it gives me summer vibes, just like the Hollywood sign. In September 1932, 24-year-old Broadway actress Peg Entwistle, who was struggling to find success in the film industry, jumped from the top of the H of the Hollywood sign. Her death, often cited as a grim symbol of broken dreams in Tinseltown, has led to decades of reported sightings of her ghost wandering the hills, frequently accompanied by the scent of her favourite gardenia perfume. Beyond this tragedy, the landmark has seen other unsettling incidents, including the mysterious 1940s disappearance of its original caretaker, Albert Koth, and a macabre discovery in 2012 when a decapitated head was found on a hiking trail nearby. Over the years, the sign's physical decay, with letters collapsing and arsonists setting fire to others, mirrored Hollywood itself before its modern restoration. Next up, we have Mariana Bay Sauvignon Blanc, which I would give half marks, 5 out of 10. It's warm and earthy, but that's about it. But what is also warm, well, maybe not warm, but earthy, is Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris. Père Lachaise is steeped in paranormal lore, with reports of spectral lights, disembodied voices, and translucent figures frequently surfacing. One of the most famous claims involves Jim Morrison, whose spirit is said to wander near his grave. This gained widespread attention after a ghostly photo captured by rock historian Brett Meisner was deemed authentic by some experts. Other legends include the Lady in White, often identified as Countess Elizabeth Stroganoff, who supposedly haunts her massive mausoleum after multiple people reportedly went mad or died while attempting her one-year vigil challenge to win her fortune. Visitors also claim that the ghost of former Prime Minister Adolphe Thiers tugs at the clothes of those who walk too close to his tomb, while the spirit of Marcel Proust is said to rise nightly in a tragic search for his lover. Third up, we have Phantom River, also Sauvignon Blanc. I think you will find there's a bit of a pattern here. I do like an SB. This is quite low. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It's got a bit of an acidic and sour aftertaste. And somewhere also quite acidic and sour is the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. The Cecil Hotel's history is a grim timeline of tragedy that earned it nicknames like the Suicide and Hotel Death. Following its 1924 opening, the hotel's prestige vanished during the Great Depression as it became a transient hub on the edge of Skid Row, eventually witnessing over 80 deaths. Its walls famously house serial killers Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, who reportedly returned to his room covered in blood during his 1985 killing spree, and Jack Unterweger, who murdered 3 women while in residence in 1991. Other notorious incidents include the 1944 case of Dorothy Purcell, who threw her newborn from a window, and the 1964 unsolved rape and murder of long-term resident Pigeon Goldie Osgood. The hotel's dark reputation reached a peak in 2013 with the death of Elisa Lam, whose body was discovered in a rooftop water tank after guests complained of discoloured, funny-tasting water. And I have done a video on this, so if you want to know more about that case, click here. Next up, we have Hardy's Sauvignon Blanc Semillon. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. It's light, but it's also fruity and sweet. And I'd say it's the closest wine to Orvieto Amabile. Speaking obviously, I thought this paired well with Castillo di Montebello. So the dark history of Castillo di Montebello is rooted in the 1375 disappearance of Gwendolina Malatesta, also known as Azorina. Born an albino, a condition then viewed as a mark of the devil, she was kept in strict seclusion to protect her from accusations of witchcraft. Her nickname, Little Blue One, came from unsuccessful attempts to dye her hair black, which instead left it with a strange bluish shimmer. I mean, that sounds really cool, I'm not gonna lie. On the summer solstice, during a violent storm, she reportedly vanished while chasing a bull into the castle's underground icehouse, leaving only a scream heard by her guards. Paranormal researchers and visitors claim that every 5 years on the anniversary of her disappearance, her restless spirit returns, manifesting as phantom laughter, childlike cries, or the sound of a bouncing ball. Next up, we have Via Vincini Frascati, which is a 6.5 out of 10. We're bringing out the 0.5s. This was a really smooth and subtle wine, and it has a bit of a floral aftertaste. And to echo this subtle nature, we have the Newtown Historic District in Salisbury. The Newtown Historic District is a hotspot for paranormal lore, with many accounts tied to its Revolutionary War past and 18th century architecture. Notable sites include the Temperance House, where psychics have confirmed spirits within the former tavern. Other reports range from the phantom footsteps at Angel House and the apparition of a young girl at a Sugar Street residence to the legendary hauntings of town benefactors at Edmund Town Hall. Collectively, these stories paint a picture of a town where historic residents, from revolutionary soldiers to mischievous spirits like Effie, continue to linger alongside the living. And next up we have the 35 South Sauvignon Blanc, which is a 7.5 out of 10. It's sweet and sour and warm, just like Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is a 512-acre property in Ballard, Utah, famous for decades of reported paranormal activity, UFO sightings, and livestock mutilations tied to local Native American folklore. Currently owned by real estate mogul Brandon Fugel, the ranch is the site of an intensive scientific investigation, popularised by the History Channel, where researchers use advanced sensors to track unexplained radiation spikes and electromagnetic anomalies. While theories range from interdimensional portals to secret government testing, the site remains one of the world's most high-profile hotspots for studying the unidentified aerial phenomena mystery. And now we have the Sauvignon Blanc Nice Drop of ... which, again, 5 out of 10, half marks. I actually got this as a gift for cat sitting because my partner doesn't like wine, so I was like, I will take that sacrifice. No worries. So this was quite a warm and caramelly and rich wine with a bit of an earthy aftertaste, and nothing could be a richer paranormal site than the Amityville House. The Amityville House at 108 Ocean Avenue is a Dutch colonial home notorious for the 1974 DeFeo family murders and the subsequent paranormal claims of the Lutz family. After George and Kathy Lutz fled the property in 1975, alleging 28 days of terrifying supernatural activity, the story became a global phenomenon for the Amityville horror book and film franchise. Despite its dark reputation and the intense scrutiny of investigators, who often dismiss the hauntings as a hoax, the house remains a private residence today. To deter horror tourists, owners have since changed the address from 112 Ocean Avenue and replaced its iconic eye-like windows. Next up we have the Montpierre Sauvignon Blanc, which is a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's hearty and warm, but had a sour aftertaste, which I didn't really mind. And just like this, the Stanley Hotel, seemingly a warm and welcoming place to rest your head, has a sour atmosphere hidden just beneath. The Stanley Hotel is renowned for its intense paranormal activity, famously serving as the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining, after his own unsettling stay in room 217. Guests and staff frequently report encounters with the spirits of the original owners, F.O. and Flora Stanley, often hearing phantom piano music or spotting them in the billiard room. The fourth floor is a particular hotspot for activity, where sounds of ghostly children running and laughing are common, while the spirit of a former housekeeper is said to tidily move belongings in the famous suite. From shadow figures in the hallways to unexplained footsteps, the hotel's reputation as a paranormal portal continues to draw investigators and thrill seekers alike. And then we have Penguin Sans Sauvignon Blanc, which again is a 6.5 out of 10. It's warm but light and citrusy at the very same time, guys. But like this wine, Hoya Baku Forest is also unique, but for the variety of its paranormal accounts. Hoya Baku Forest is globally renowned for a dense concentration of supernatural phenomena, earning its reputation as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. Reports range from UFO sightings, famously photographed in 1968, to ghostly apparitions of peasants believed to be trapped in a waking purgatory. Visitors frequently experience time slips, such as the legend of a 5-year-old girl who reappeared unchanged after 5 years alongside physical symptoms like unexplained scratches, burns, and intense nausea. These events are often centred around a circular clearing where no vegetation grows, which many believe serves as a portal to another dimension or a gateway between the terrestrial and astral planes. Espadero Tempranillo Blanco is a 7 out of 10. It's a mild and light wine, so it's good for like a summer's evening, which is ironic because the weather was absolute shite when I drank this. But Raynham Hall is a great pair with this wine, as although it's infamous for its hauntings, they are very light and mild in nature. Raynham Hall is most famous for the legend of the Brown Lady, widely believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole. The most notorious accounts date back to the 1830s, when guests and skeptics alike, including Captain Frederick Marryat, reported seeing a figure in brown satin with glowing eyes and a malicious grin. Marryat famously claimed to have fired a pistol through the apparition, to no effect. The site gained international fame in 1936 when a photograph was taken of a spectral figure descending the grand staircase, which remains one of the most debated ghost photos in history. Beyond the Brown Lady, the hall is also said to be haunted by a ghostly spaniel, 2 spirit children, and the Duke of Monmouth, solidifying its reputation as one of England's most haunted homes. Yellowwood Mountain Sauvignon Blanc is a 5 out of 10. It's mild. I do like a mild wine, but there's not much else going on, to be honest. It didn't have much of an aftertaste and no instant like, ooh, that's a good wine, you know? Epping Forest is similar in a way, as it's a more traditional paranormal location with no aftertaste or additional surprises, just good old-fashioned spirits. Epping Forest is steeped in legends of highwaymen, ancient royalty, and restless spirits. Most famously, the ghost of Dick Turpin is said to frequent the High Beach area, while a headless horseman is often sighted near the Wake Arms roundabout. Unique phenomena like Hangman's Hill, where cars appear to roll uphill against gravity, draw many curious visitors, alongside reports of spectral children and dark entities emerging from the dense tree line. This eerie reputation is bolstered by the forest's grim history as a site for body disposal and ancient battles, making it a primary destination for paranormal investigators today. And now we have my favourite wine on this list, Connaught sur Bicicleta. So this is a Chardonnay, and maybe that was what I was missing. I don't know, but it's a 10 out of 10, guys. It's so close to Orvieto Amabile, but it's warmer. It's got notes of peach and orange, actually. And it's so nice in winter or summer. It's one of those that you could sit in the garden in summer and drink it, or have it as like a Halloween wine, you know, if you didn't like spirits. It's genuinely one that I could drink like squash. But do you know what else I could drink like squash and is a great story for Halloween? The Perron family haunting, which took place at the Perron family home. So the real story behind The Conjuring centres around the Perron family, who claimed to experience a decade of intense paranormal activity at an 18th century Rhode Island farmhouse, starting in 1971. While the movie depicts a dramatic exorcism, the actual events involved a botched seance conducted by Ed and Lorraine Warren that allegedly left Carolyn Perron traumatised, leading her husband to kick the investigators out. Furthermore, the film's villain Bathsheba Sherman was a real historical figure, but there is no evidence that she was a witch or a murderer. Records suggest she lived a relatively normal life and died of natural causes. Ultimately, while the family maintains that the house was haunted, many historians and skeptics view the more extreme elements of the story as exaggerations, created for entertainment and fame. And then I tried Chateau Tanunda Chardonnay, which is a 3 out of 10. As I said, I was really new to Chardonnay at this point, and thought, it was going well. But it just tasted like a bland version of a Sauvignon Blanc. Borley Rectory pairs quite nicely with this wine, as although it's got a multitude of paranormal stories, many incidents are said to have been exaggerated, posing the question of if this place is just a normal or bland house, I guess. Borley Rectory gained notoriety as the most haunted house in England due to decades of reported phenomena, including the famous phantom nun, a spectral headless horseman, and aggressive poltergeist activity like spontaneous bell ringing and wall writing. These accounts were largely popularised by psychic investigator Harry Price, who turned the Essex site into a national sensation through his books. However, the rectory's reputation remains controversial, as later investigations suggested that many incidents were likely exaggerations or hoaxes perpetrated by residents, leading many to view the haunting more as a masterpiece of folklore than verified supernatural fact. Mirabeau en Provence is a solid 6 out of 10. It's got a full body, whatever that means. It's not too sweet, and you could drink multiple glasses, basically. And something else that you could also drink multiple glasses of is the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary is widely considered one of the most haunted locations in America, with reports of over 150 restless spirits lingering throughout its decks. Darker claims often centre on the engine room's door 13, where an 18-year-old crewman named John Pedder was crushed to death in 1966. Many visitors report seeing a figure in blue overalls still haunting the area. Another chilling hotspot is the now empty first-class swimming pool, where guests frequently report hearing phantom splashes and seeing wet footprints or the spirit of a young girl named Jackie, who allegedly drowned there. Stateroom B340 is arguably the most infamous site, notorious for poltergeist-like activity such as faucets turning on, lights flickering, and bedsheets being ripped off sleeping guests. Much of this activity is tied to the ship's harrowing wartime history as the Grey Ghost, including a tragic 1942 collision with the HMS Caracoa that resulted in over 300 deaths, an event some believe left a permanent psychic imprint on the vessel. So La Ville Fermée is a 7 out of 10. It's light and it's a little bit fruity with an aftertaste of lemon, which brings me to the USS Hornet. The USS Hornet, or CV-12, is renowned as one of the most haunted vessels in the US Navy, with paranormal reports ranging from full-bodied apparitions in World War II uniforms to disembodied voices and phantom footsteps echoing through its steel corridors. Among these eerie encounters, visitors and investigators frequently report a sudden distinct scent of lemon, which some believe is a ghostly residual from historic cleaning agents or a signature mark of a specific spirit. This olfactory phenomenon is often accompanied by physical sensations, such as being touched or pushed, particularly in high-activity areas like the sickbay, engine room, and the bridge, all attributed to the ship's intense and often tragic combat history. And lastly, we have the Ulpori Sauvignon Blanc, which is 5 out of 10. It's strong and defiant, it's got some fruity notes, and it's slightly acidic. Which brings me to the Villisca Axe Murder House, as it also has an acidic history. The Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa is the site of a brutal, unsolved 1912 mass murder that claimed the lives of the Josiah Moore family and 2 young house guests, all of whom were bludgeoned to death in their sleep. The crime scene remains infamous for its eerie, ritualistic details, such as the killer covering all mirrors and windows with cloths and leaving a slab of bacon on the floor. Despite multiple high-profile suspects and trials, including a travelling minister and a local business rival, no one was ever convicted. Today, the house, creepily restored to its original condition without electricity or running water, operates as a popular dark tourism destination, offering daytime tours and overnight stays for those seeking to experience its paranormal activity. And that is it for my wine rating and comparison to dark / paranormal places. I really hope you enjoyed this one. It was a bit of a weird one, but I kind of find it really fun to like put things together. Let me know if you want me to do anything like this again. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video.